Good morning, students. How are you all? There is an interesting subject, Unit 8, Support and Movements of Organisms. Students' learning objectives are define the term movement, identify the appendages, to know the movement of the elbow joint, understand the concept of the plant movements, to know the types of plant movements, to find out the meaning of in situ conservation. Right. Support and movements of animals. What is movement? Living organisms change the location of their whole body or a part of its body as a response to a stimulus. This process is known as a movement. Living organisms change the location of their whole body or a part of its body as a response to a stimulus. This process is known as a movement. So, you can observe some organisms. First, paramecium, then amoeba, euglena. These are paramecium, amoeba and euglena are unicellular organisms. Okay. Then this is snail. This is earthworm. This is leech. And this is human. So, snail, earthworm and leech are invertebrates. Human is vertebrate. Okay, snail, earthworm and leech are invertebrates and human is vertebrate. Now, let us study about the movements of animals. Here some animals are given below. Write down the appendages used for movement. So first one, amoeba. You already observed the picture of amoeba, right? So appendages used for movements. False feet. Okay? We call as pseudopodia. Then euglena. Appendages used for movements, flagella. Okay. Then paramecium, appendages used for movements, cilia. Here, earthworm, leech, snail, they have no special appendages for their movements. Earthworm, leech, snail, they have no special appendages for their movements. they move through their body parts, or they use muscles for their movements. Okay? Then dolphin, it use flippers. Right? Then cobra, this also no special appendages. They use their body part for their movement. Then toad, the appendages used for movements, limbs. Okay, human, also limbs. And crow, wings. These are birds, they use wings for their movement. So here you observe the name of the animal and their appendages used for movements: amoeba, euglena, paramecium, and these I already explained you, and dolphin, flippers, and cobra also no special appendages, they move their body parts. Then toad, crow, and human. Okay? Right. Bones, muscles, and joints. So here you observe the skeletal system of human and the muscular system of human. So both are involved in the movement of the body. The skeletal system of human and the muscular system of human, these both are involved in the movement of the body. Right. Invertebrates use muscles. So invertebrates means an animal lacking a backbone. So invertebrates means an animal lacking of backbone. So Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Coelenterata comes under invertebrates. Okay. Then vertebrates. So invertebrates use muscles for their movements. Then vertebrates means an animal of a large group and possess a backbone or spinal column. So vertebrates, it possesses backbone or spinal column. Okay? Right. So invertebrates used muscles and bones for their locomotion. Mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fishes comes under vertebrates. Okay. So I already explained you about invertebrates and vertebrates. So bones and muscles help for movement, and also it maintains body shape and rigidity. Okay. Right. Let us see about the features of muscles. Okay. Features of muscles. What are the features of muscles? the cells in a muscle are arranged as fibers. So muscles is made up of muscle cells. So the cells in a muscle are arranged as fibers. And also a muscle cell has the ability to contract or shorten. Okay? A muscle cell has the ability to contract or shorten. Next feature of muscle cell, a muscle cell has the ability to relax. A muscle cell has the ability to relax. Fourth, when muscles are relaxed or contracted, they have the ability to reach the original position again. So this is the important point. When muscles are relaxed or contracted, they have the ability to reach the original position again. So these are some features of muscles. Okay, right. Next, the anatomy of the elbow. Here, this is biceps muscles, right? This is triceps muscles. This is the humerus. This is ulna. This is radius. Right here, hand-elbow joint. So, when the biceps muscles is contracted, so here you can observe the biceps muscles. So, when the biceps muscle is contracted, the hands bends and lifts up. Okay. When biceps muscle is contracted, the hands bends and lifts up. So when the tricep muscles, when the triceps muscles is contracted, the hand stretched. Okay, when the triceps muscles contracted, the hand stretched. Then the biceps muscles comes to its original resting position. So the muscles participate in the movement, biceps muscles and triceps muscles. So then the bicep muscles comes to its original resting position. Okay, so observe this picture carefully. Right. So, and also the tendons, it connects the muscles, it connects the muscles to the bones. Right? Tendons, it connects the muscles to the bones. Okay? Right. Okay, we have studied about the movements of animals. Now we are going to study the movements of plants. Support and movements of plants. So support of plants in non-woody plants. in non-woody plants, turgid cells give the mechanical support. But in woody plants, wood deposited by the chemical substances such as cellulose, lignin give the mechanical support. So now let us see about the picture of non-woody plant, balsam, and woody plant. Right? So in balsam plant, sunny days, these plants get withered and the stem is bent down. The reason, due to lack of water supply to the plant. So here water is needed inside the plant for erect and alive. So water is essential for their alive and for plant for erect. But in woody plants, for example mango, in woody plants, here plant can be kept erect in low water percentage. Okay, in woody plant can be kept erect in low water percentage. I already mentioned you here some chemical substances deposited in the walls in hardwood of the plant. They give the rigidity to the plants. Okay, so now you know about the non-woody plant and woody plant. Right. Next, we are going to see about movement in plants. Okay, movement in plants. Growth of a part in a plant as a response to a stimulus or change of the location to a turgor change is known as a movement of a plant. Growth of a part in a plant as a response to a stimulus or change of the location to a turgor change. Right? Turgor change is known as a movement of a plant. So there are two types of movements. There are tropic movements and nastic movements. Tropic movements and nastic movements. Now let us see about tropic movements. Okay. Now let us see about tropic movements. So tropic movements are growth or movements that occur due to a direct influence between the direction of stimulus and direction of response. So tropic movements, these tropic movements are growth or movements that occur due to a direct influence between the direction of stimulus and direction of response. So positive tropism, it occurs towards the stimulus. And the negative tropism occurs away from the stimulus. Okay. Right. Now we are going to classify the trophic movements into 5 types. First one, phototrophism. Second one, geotrophism. Third one, heterotrophism. Fourth one, hemotrophism. Fifth one, thigmotrophism. Right? The stimulus for phototrophism is light. Okay? The stimulus for phototrophism is light. Then the stimulus for geotrophism is gravity. Stimulus for hydrotrophism is water. Then hemotrophism, chemicals. Then thigmotrophism, touch. Okay? Phototrophism, light. Geotrophism, gravity. Hydrotrophism, water. Hemotrophism, chemicals. And thigmotrophism, touch. Let us see about geotrophism. Okay? So, is tropism movement that follows is tropism movement that follows Earth gravitational force. The positive geotrophism is geotrophism movement that is direction is downward. Positive geotrophism. In negative geotrophism is geotrophism movement that is direction upward. So the example for positive geotrophism. So positive geotrophism. What is the example? Roots grows down. Okay? The positive geotrophism, roots grows down. And negative geotrophism, stems grows up. Okay, this is examples for positive geotrophism and negative geotrophism. Right. Then next, phototrophism. Right? Phototrophism. Okay? Phototrophism. Here, plants respond to light. Here, plants respond to light. So, the examples for positive phototrophism, it turns towards the light. The positive phototrophism turns towards the light. Here, the stem and leaves. Okay? Stem and leaves. Then negative phototrophism. Negative phototropism away from light. Example, roots. Okay. So, in phototropism, plants respond to light. Here, positive phototropism turns towards light, stem and leaves, and negative phototropism away from light, example, roots. Next one, heterotropism. The movement of a plant part, in response to water is called as heterotropism. So here also positive heterotropism and negative heterotropism. So root shows the positive heterotropism and shoot shows negative heterotropism. Okay. Next, hemotropism. In hemotropism, it's a movement of a plant in response to chemical stimuli. Okay, is movement of plant in response to chemical stimuli. So, for example, growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Here you can see the picture. Okay, the growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Next, positive thigmotropism response. So, thigmotropism, the way a plant grows or bends because of touch. So, the stimulus is touch. Thigmotropism, the way a plant that grows or bends because of touch. Here the stimulus is touch. So, positive thigmotropism, when a plant touches and wraps around a support or moves towards the structure, they are touching. Right? Here you can observe the picture. Right? Positive thigmotropism. Here when a plant touches and wraps around a support and moves towards the structure, they are touching. Here you observe the picture. Okay. Right. So, let us see about the summary. Growth of a part in a plant as a response to a stimulus or change of the location to a target change is known as the movement of plant. There are two types of movements. There are tropic movement and nastic movements. And in tropic movements, the growth or movements that occur due to a direct influence between the direction of stimulus and direction of response. So, we can classify again into 5 types. They are phototropism. Right. These can be classified again into 5 types. They are phototropism, geotropism, heterotropism, hemotropism, and thigmotropism. Here I already explained you the stimulus for each tropism. Okay. and georrhophism, positive georrhophism and negative georrhophism. The positive georrhophism, roots grows down, and negative georrhophism, stems grows up. Then phototrophism, here the positive phototrophism and negative phototrophism. In positive phototrophism, turns towards light, stem and leaves, and negative phototrophism away from light, roots. Then heterotrophism is a movement of a plant part in response to water is called as heterotrophism. Here positive heterotrophism and negative heterotrophism. Root shows positive heterotrophism and shoot shows negative heterotrophism. Then hemotrophism is a movement of plant in a response to chemical stimuli. Here examples, growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Then positive thigmotrophism, here the way a plant grows or bends because of touch is a stimulus. In positive, when a plant touches and wraps around a support or moves towards the structure they are touching. Okay, students. Then nastic movements. Nastic movements responds a part of plant towards touch, light and heat. Okay, responds a part of plant towards touch, light and heat. Does not depend on the direction of the stimulus. Does not depend on the direction of the stimulus. Movement is reversible. The examples, Mimosa pudica. The advantage act as defense. Then the types of nastic movements. First one, nyctic movements. Then seismonastic movements. Third, haptonastic movements. Fourth, photonastic movements. Okay. Then here the up and down movements of leaves in response to daily rhythms. Examples, night and daytime. Then here seismonastic movements, the shock movement, the movement in plants in response to touch as well as other forms of physical contact or mechanical such as shaking. Then in the case of the sensitive plant Mimosa pudica, a leaflet or leaf or group of leaves rapidly falls and bends in response to the external stimulus. Haptonastic movement, here sleeping of mimosa leaves when the stimulus is touched. Then photonastic movement, this is caused by stimulus of light. Here you can observe the picture. Okay. Then what is pulvinus? Here it is located at each leaflet and petiole base. Help for these movements of the plant. So while touching the pulvinus, the water leaves from the pulvinus. Therefore, turgor pressure is lost in the pulvinus. Leaves close. As the temperature decreases, the pulvinus also loses water and leaves close. Here you can observe the pulvinus, okay? Right. Then tactic movements. Here the whole organism responds to the stimulus. The whole organism responds to the stimulus. Example, Chlamydomonas. Next, we are going to see about in situ conservation. How do we conserve biodiversity? In situ conservation, the production of animals and plants in their natural habitat. Okay? The production of animals and plants in their natural habitat is called as or is known as in situ conservation. Here the established natural habitat, they are biosphere reservoirs, national parks. Okay, these are the examples. In situ conservation plants, here you can observe the ebony and satin wood. Right, students, you have some questions, so you should answer these questions. The first one, this is amoeba. Amoeba. Appendages used for movement. False feet. Okay. Then Euglena. This one. Euglena. Euglena. Appendages used for movement. Flagella. Okay. Then third one, Paramecium. Appendages used for movement. Cilia. Then this bacteria. Appendages used for movement. Flagella. Okay. So first one amoeba. Second one Euglena. Third one Paramecium. Fourth one bacteria. So the appendages used for movement in amoeba, false feet. We can call that pseudopodia. Then Euglena, flagella, Paramecium, cilia, and bacteria, flagella. Then the tissues are used for locomotion of vertebrates. Name the tissues. So in vertebrates, bones and muscles. Okay, right. Right, okay, students. Thank you, students. God bless you. Discuss பண்ணு.